Good morning everyone, welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. I'm David Steele and here's my truck, and today we're in a DAF XF. And yeah, this is gonna be an interesting run for two reasons. Number one, we're in Munich, southern Germany, and we're going to be traveling into Austria today. And I've traveled this way, the route I'm hoping I'm going to be able to take. I've most certainly traveled as a child, probably a small child, and yeah, I'm excited to drive into Austria from Germany in the game. And number two, well, having spent a lot of time bringing a Euro Truck Simulator 2 support to the Steel Productions engine pack, today's trip is something of a celebration of that. And we're running something of an American theme in this DAF truck today. Let me show you what I mean. Yep, there we go. DAF is owned by PACCAR, and so the engines you find in the DAF, at least the factory ones, are MX11 and MX13 these days. We, however, are running something a little different. Now, you'll not be able to tell from the sound of it. Let's go ahead and fire it up today. But under the, well, I would say under the hood, but under the cabin of today's ride is a Cummins X12 Efficiency engine, paired up to an Eaton Endurant HD. So we're running, I suppose you might say, an all-American drivetrain in a Dutch, originally Dutch branded truck. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and just turn the lights on, I think. I'm curious to see how well the X12 works today. Let's jump into the cabin, I think. I'm going to go ahead and make my way across to the depot. I'm curious as to how well this X12 is going to perform, because I went all sweet and went for the baby of the range. Whoops, just not my mic. I went for the 350 horsepower version. And if you've played Euro Truck Simulator 2, and especially if you played Euro Truck Simulator 2 and American Truck Simulator, you may have noticed a bit of a difference in the engines, and, or rather the rated power outputs, and to be fair, the gearing of the two trucks, or the two games, I should say. Let's go ahead and get on the power a little bit here. And I'm going to just attempt to summarize the differences between the two, but speed limits in Europe are a lot lower, typically 90 kilometers per hour across most of Europe, and as you see from the truck in front of us, he's likely limited to 80 kilometers per hour. That's just 50 miles an hour and 56 if you're going to do 90. That's number one. Number two, cargoes tend to be heavier, and I guess axle limits are also higher too. So something like a 4x2 in the US, you might be limited to a gross vehicle weight of maybe 60,000 pounds. Not true over here in Europe. Now we can carry more. So I am going to see if we've got a cargo. There was one when I looked last night, and it should still be available today. And it was about 45,000 pounds of just the cargo, plus of course whatever the trailer was. I think it's metals, but let's take a look. So I'll go ahead and pause the recording, and I'll be right back when we're off to go and collect something. Okay, there's my cargo right up here, excuse me. So let's go ahead and attempt to move up there. Oh, left my parking brake on, you numpty. Okay, so the cargo is actually just under 48,000 pounds. It's on a flatbed with a cargo carrier on the top. Oh, it's a little sensitive. So I'm curious to how well this X12 is going to cope. Now you may not know, but American emissions regulations tend to be, as I understand, just that a little bit stricter than European ones. That doesn't explain why American engines are less powerful. It may be that they're expected to run to high mileages, and so they're less stressed. It may be that cargoes are less, and so you don't need more power. But yeah, whereas in Europe you might get up to a 800 or 770 horsepower Volvo D17 these days. Or you make do with 750 if you've just got a D16. The most you'll see in America, it seems to be 625. Making a bit of a mess of this, but let's see if we can recover it. Okay, good enough. Okay, let's go ahead and get myself connected. Let's switch to the outside view and let's take a little look. Yeah, height matches nicely. So what is this? It's showing as un potable tank. That's if you speak French or have a French accent. Un potable tank. It should be an ultra potable tank because it's another one. And it looks like it's pressurized to 4 bar. Hey, okay. I guess that's not the beer kind of bar. Alright, well, let's jump back in the cabin. I'm going to go ahead and get my windows up. Break off. My temperatures are coming up. Let's switch. What else have I got here? Fuel usage, fuel info. These tanks are enormous. At least they look enormous. 1400 litres. Turbo pressure. We like a bit of turbo pressure. I don't actually have anything else. I've got an AdBlue temperature. Yeah. Showing, it looks like, oh, it's not. I was going to say, is it showing that my temperature's cold? So that the XF has a really simple dashboard. And you know what? All said and done, I like that. Yes, I would like to see lots of instruments and gauges, but if something needs to be looked at, it can just tell me. You'd think, anyway. Current speed, yeah, I've got a speedometer for that, so I won't be needing that. I think we'll switch back to fuel efficiency. I think that's probably quite sensible. Now we are showing miles per US gallon here, so but of course it's missing the G because they're used to liters per 100 kilometers. So yeah, that's why that's missing. Alright, well I think all that remains is to just check the route. Munich, I'm going to take E45, E60, oh it's Innsbruck. And the border crossing is somewhere here. Now I could go further west and take this route, which looks very pretty. Oh, it does. How long would that take me? I reckon it's 5 hours. How long have I got? I've got 8 hours. I mean, it would be sensible to do the pretty route, but something tells me maybe don't chance it. I still feel incredibly new to driving European trucks. Let's go with the sort of slightly less interesting route, shall we? And besides, we also don't really know how well this 350 horsepower motor is going to pull. Because the thing is, it's not just its 350 horsepower, which is a little low. It's 1350 foot-pounds of torque. Now, that is not terrible. Don't get me wrong, it's 1830 Newton meters, which is the measurement I'm using in the game. It's not a terrible amount of torque, but it's most definitely at the lower side of things. I love the tight turning circles that we get, but also the fact that you need them. The Endurant should be completely fine. It is an American transmission. It's probably going to be very similar in effect to most of the 12-speed automated transmissions that are available over here. I'm using a 325, no I'm not using a 390 final drive, and it's not a direct drive, it's an overdrive, and that's going to give me an estimated sort of 1375 RPM at 55 or 90 kilometers per hour in top gear. Now the X12 produces its peak torque at just 1000 RPM, and it will cruise at 1000 RPM, but this is a pretty heavy, I was expecting a fairly heavy payload, and this is about what I was expecting, so I really want to give the engine a little bit extra leeway just to help it on what I hope are some interesting, challenging gradients, and we'll find out. I don't know how well, what this route's like and how well it's going to be. I'm feathering the throttle right now. I'm going to get off the power, tell people we're going left. I'm just going to jump back to show my temperatures, I think. Yeah, oil's almost up to 200, which seems to be the sort of going temperature, I think, the normal temperature. So yeah, my expectations for this trip are that the American powertrain is going to do absolutely fine, have no real issues, given the limit of its fairly lower powered. Now, I may be proven wrong, but I really don't expect any issues. Yep, and it's shifting cleanly. It's the X12. It's the same definition as you find in American Truck Simulator, so there's no reason why we would have any issues driving along like this. But here's the first test of it, and this is a pretty steep gradient, and it needed to downshift. Speed limit's gone up to 80 kilometers per hour, and of course we're hobbling along at 45. Right, let's give it full beans. Really want to get my speed up. We're actually going to merge right. So I believe this is my exit. Yeah, it is. Okay. We're still on the way to 50 miles an hour. And we're now in top gear at sort of 70, which is what, 45? So my big issue with driving Euro Truck Simulator 2, and this is my issue, not the game's issue, is how terrible I am at negotiating corners with the European cab over. As in, I'll put the thing on. Oh, whoops! Am I good here? Am I good? Yes, I'm good. I'll put the thing on two wheels. By two wheels, I really mean however many wheels it is. Okay. I should have signaled, but he let me in anyway. And you gotta slow down, and that's where I've got into a bad habit of not slowing down so much. I think conventional trucks, and maybe just the game in ATS in general, trucks handle that a little bit better. You can tackle stuff that little bit quicker. Gotta merge left. Is this Mini gonna let me in? Nope. And this guy's merged right behind me, but he's gonna let me in. There we go. Okay, let's settle back. Right, I'm going to mute my microphone for just a little bit because I got a cup of coffee here was it tea? I got a hot cup of coffee that's rapidly going to become a cold cup of coffee. So, I'll mute my mic. We're bobbing along at sort of 80 kilometers per hour. What's that? 1300 revs? Yeah. It's very happy at this speed. In fact, let me just try and correct my steering smoothly, but I'm failing. Let's look at the efficiency. 5.3 to the gallon so far is pretty terrible, and we're also should be in the right-hand lane. Let's pull in up to this. I think it's an Audi. Okay, alright. Let me go ahead and mute my mic, and I'll be back when I've consumed what I hope is not cold coffee. Oh, well, that sucks. Yeah, that's terrible news. Okay, got a diversion. It wants me to double back on myself, which is fair enough, because we are... Oh, my word. Oh, okay, it's not so bad. It's adding a lot to the trip. Not adding in a massive... Well, it's another 100 kilometers. I'm losing some of the immersion, but I'm going to jump into the map and just take a look, I think. Okay, so it says to take me to Salzburg, which is good. Wow. And see, if I were to sort of divert via Salzburg and go this way, it would still want me to turn around. So I'd have to then say, well, actually, we're going to go this way. And it would be a wonderful mountain pass, but that's not really what I want to do. The video will be a bit too long. Alright, well, I guess we're going to have to go to Salzburg and turn around. Okay, well, I mean, I might not arrive to my oh, you know, we will arrive at my destination. I just may pause the recording of the video, so this doesn't become a 45-minute trip of me just riding around. Just riding around. Right, well, let's get back to my coffee, because it's just about a few minutes it'll be too cold. I'll be back. In fact, I've got a better idea. Let me drive all the way over to Salzburg and then and back on myself, and I will pause the recording so that we get to the interesting bit and you were actually able to watch me climb some mountains and see how well this X12 performs. So I guess I'll be back in a jiffy. Well, we're back. I'm going to jump back in the cabin. I can't drive like this for very long. There we go. Okay. So some observations. The first one is I think I could have gotten away with taller gearing. And I deliberately did go with shorter gearing because I'm concerned about the gradients being a little too much for this fairly low-powered engine. But this thing is cruising up plumb. It's just... I don't know why I doubted the X12 efficiency. This thing has an accurate torque curve, assuming the game engine's accurate, and it's tackling this thing fantastic. Yeah, it's a great little engine, and it's actually the engine that got me into modding American Truck Simulator. And what I mean by that is I really wanted to drive a truck with the X12 efficiency in it, or just the X12. And there were no mods that seemed to cover this, and I did find one or two, but they did not appear to have, well, no, they weren't an accurate torque curve. There's this one particular mod, it's enjoyable. When you look under the skin, every single engine of the same power output has the same torque curve, and that wasn't what the torque curves were showing me for the X12. So the long and short are, the X12 is the reason why get back on the road, David. It's the reason why I started modding and adding engines to ATS. Putting all that to one side, because I got sidetracked, as you do. Yeah, it's a solid engine. I don't dislike it. Now, the couple of weaknesses, and would you believe it? It looks... oh no, it's not. I thought my road was blocked then. It's actually a Pullett's eye, having stopped some guy in a truck. Yeah, so the two weaknesses are, one, I think I probably could have got away with maybe the 355 or even the 325 gearing. Because, and those are the gearboxes I'm planning on including with the pack. It's coping, and even now, this is a gradient. I am at full power. It is picking up speed. And yes, don't get me wrong, it's not going to shred the road. I just don't expect it to. Let's put cruise back on, I think, like so. So yeah, I think I could have gotten away with going for quite a bit taller gearing. That's my first observation. The second one is, so far, this X12 efficiency engine brake really does make a lot of noise and not that much deceleration, and that's kind of to be expected given that it's a small capacity. In fact, I'm actually going to need to use it here. But my speed, yeah, okay, it's proven me wrong. The X12 efficiency E will shift down when you use the engine brake, and that's good because there's just not that much engine to drop the anchor, so to speak. I'm going to bring my speed down again as I'm speeding. Okay. So yeah, I think would the X15 fit in this truck? I believe it would. It's hard to say because the biggest engine that DAF will install is the MX13, and that is a 13-litre engine, and I need to get out of this guy's way. That looks like a Vauxhall Corsa. Anyway, yeah, so the biggest engine I think comes to the factory is just 13 litre, and we're thinking about putting a 15 litre in here. It may not fit. It should, but it might not. And I don't know for sure either way. So an X15 efficiency would perhaps be a logical choice. We just didn't. And this is where the payback's going to be for having the sort of the shorter gearing, because right now we are accelerating, or attempting to accelerate up a gradient, and we'll get back in your load. Okay, this does look like Austria. That is absolutely awesome. I'm going to take a moment just to okay, I'm going to get all misty-eyed because I'm reminiscing about the past, but yeah, that's pretty excellent. Let's merge left. I want to get out of the way of this pull outside. This car does not want to slow down coming up behind me, but he did. These are, looks like a Ford Galaxy or a Volkswagen Charon. Of course, it's a Chiron, don't you know? Yeah, it's a Volkswagen and it's a Charon. And I don't like Volkswagens, and they have a stupid name for a car. It's people carrier, whatever they want to call it. A minivan. It's a Charon. It's a Shazza. And it's bloody raining. This is Volkswagen's fault. Well, wipers on. Oh, got 3 wipers to play with. Yay. So yeah, would it have been advantageous to go with taller gearing? I think so, because there's going to be a knock-on effect on fuel economy. The lower the revs, the lower the fuel burn. But at the same time, the higher the revs, the better the effective performance and the effective torque of the road. And so, for a route into mountain country, you probably really do want the shorter gearing. Or more gears. So we look at the stock transmissions you can get with the DAF. I believe there is, well, there's the Allison 6-speed, that's a full automatic, and we have 12-speed, both as a direct drive and an overdrive, and we also have a 16-speed, which is an overdrive, and that's a little shorter gearing wise compared to the I guess I've got to go this way. It didn't tell me to go this way. Well, I guess it did, the road sign said. Get my speed down again, there we go. This is a weigh station. I haven't done one of these in ETS, I don't think, since forever. I am very curious to see what this package weighs, so I'm going to find out. Let me see, my cargo is what, 47,950 pounds. I don't know what this trailer is. They're about 15,000 pounds in Europe, so we're looking at 65. Maybe I'm only 80,000 pounds. Maybe not. Am I supposed to stop here? I didn't actually see any destructions. Nor do I see anywhere I'm supposed to weigh myself. Oh, maybe they just scan me when I drive over.
Never mind.
I mean, I guess. Is it Renault? Okay. How much do I weigh? Oh well. Guess I'll never know. Let's get back on the go-go juice then. So yeah, lots of I did not touch you. Why are you honking your car alarm at me? So lots of gears, covers the low speed, and that would be amazing if we, you know, get on a really steep gradient and we've got to get ourselves out up a hill. But at these sorts of speeds, it's not necessary. I am at full power right now, and it's going up through the gears. And we're in 11th gear. Let's just quickly check my temperatures. Yeah, it's not running hard or anything. I guess let's put my turbo boost on, because that's always pretty cool. I mean, it's 1.7 and rising. And here's my exit. So, okay. I didn't need to burn all that motion lotion. Oh well. Alright, bit of engine brake here. See, it revs the engine up and doesn't seem to do much slowing down. it's doing some. Okay, we're at Innsbruck, and yep, this is Innsbruck. It's like it's held by mountains either side, and the mix of sort of like I guess 60s, 70s, 80s style concrete apartment blocks. I wouldn't say blocks of flats. Apartment complexes, they might be called. And then there's some contemporary. Oh, brake. Okay. And some more contemporary Austrian homes hidden behind the trees. Wow. Over to the left. Okay, well I'll get back on the road because we can't really see it from here. I think the flashing means you've not got long. Yeah, it does mean that. And if you run an orange, even if it goes orange when you're kind of already crossing, you'll get a fine. And that does feel particularly mean of the game. I was right in the curb there. So it's showing 6.3 to the gallon, which I'm willing to bet is pretty much what we've got from this trip. I'm going to use my engine brake. I do not want to fall off the road in the wet. Though I may do if I lock up the driven axle, because you want to do that. It's want to do that, I should say.
Turn right.
Yeah, so we didn't quite get the gradients that I thought that we would, but that's okay. We got a few, but probably not enough to really justify the short gearing I was using. But I'm not unhappy with how this little X12 performed. I shouldn't be, because there are plenty of MX-11s that see service in the DAF all over Europe. Well. We're almost here. Bring my speed a bit more under control, in other words, reduce it. I've had my rain preference to I think 40%, and it seems to have rained more than half the time I've played the game. But I'm not complaining too much, it just makes it a little hard to see out the side. And right now I'm not that confident driving ETS at night, because I'm just not used to the game. It feels like advanced mode at night. And things like this maneuver here, this is a pain. Yeah, I can't actually see that well with my mirror. I don't like to be less immersive and do this view, but I'm going to. Wow. We made it with our deux portable tanks. And I thought I'd close my window, but I guess not. Alright, so what's been loaded or offloaded over here? Pretty much there. Any second. There we go. Right, I'm going to leave everything running because it's raining. It's probably cold out there. Do I see temperature? Don't think I do. But okay. Let's see how well we did. So let's feed this information into my spreadsheet. So 356 kilometers. That's a couple hundred miles. And 119.3 liters of diesel was consumed. So we actually averaged 7 miles per gallon. Which, yeah, that's actually not bad. In fact, that's about 1.5 miles. Well, it's 1 mile per gallon more than what I was expecting. Showing 6.3, I was thinking maybe closer to 6. So efficiency-wise, yeah, we did pretty good. I'm tempted to try the taller final drive. I just don't want to be embarrassed going up a hill and everything's passing me, including people on foot bikes. Right. Well, I hope that you got something from this. It was a different kind of run. I'm definitely happy with how the X12 performed. It did as I expected it to, and if it were an American truck in the American world, so I shouldn't really be that surprised. As for the paint job, I think it looks pretty cool. It is a little bit in your face, but I think I can get away saying this, and I live here. That's kind of how the world perceives America anyway, and I don't think that's too big a deal. I wonder if I can incorporate badge modification code into the Steel Productions engine pack for lesser engines without getting bogged down in minute detail coding. Because you see, this says it's a DAF 105 410. Well, it's not a 410. It was a 410. It's now a 350. So maybe there's a none badge. All right. Well, on that bombshell, thanks ever so much for hanging out. I hope that you enjoyed the game. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. And you're looking forward to the Steel Productions engine pack coming to ETS2, because I have sunk hours into developing these engines and getting the thing to work. I mean, like, many, many hours. Thanks so much for hanging out, everyone. I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Goodbye.